Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome to this video, guys. My name is Adab. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. This is Manflooti. So we are going through Manflooti, and it's going through the beginning. Remember the Muqaddimah we were talking about. So inshallah, we will cover the entire book one day, hopefully. All right, so let's have a look at this then. So he says, فإذا لاحت لي زهرة جميلة بين أزهاره تتألق في غصن زاهر بين أغصانه وقفت. All right, let's try to explain this. So فإذا, so إذا means when. Okay, so when إذا لاحت, لاح يلوه, it means to become apparent. Yeah, to become visible. It's actually from the root letters of lawh. So if you ever heard of a lawh, which is the word that's used for a tablet that you write on. So something that you write on in the olden days, is a piece of wood. You used to write on there, that was called lawh because it was kind of very clear what you write on it. So laha yaluhu lahat, to become apparent. Zahra is a flower. Okay, Zahra is a flower. And then you've got obviously Jamila. So actually, let me make this a bit more. Try to make this a bit bigger so you guys can see it better. Okay, so Zahra means flower, from the word Zuhur, Zahara, Zahara. Okay, and Jamila means beautiful, with this word before. Beautiful. Okay, now this is obviously the sifa. Okay, so this is Zaharatun, Jamilatun. This is the sif and mawsuf of these two words. And lahat, obviously that's going to be the fi'l, and Zahra is the fa'il. So bayna, it means between or in between. Azhar is the jama of az-Zahra. So that word over there we explained, Azhar, bayna azharihi. Alright, and then you got tata'allaku. So tata'allaku is from the word alaqa, which means to glisten. Okay, so to shine, to glisten, to shimmer, all these words you can use. And it's from the word alaqa. Right, so ta'allaqa should be like a shadda over there. Ta'allaqu, going back to the Zahra. Okay, ghusn, it means a branch. Okay, ghusn, and the jama is aghsan. Zahir, now see, the word Zahra comes from Zahir. Zahir means something which is shining, which is radiant, you could say. So that's like the root word of it. So flowers are usually things that make things look really nice. Okay, so branch, radiant. Okay, so Zahratun and Zahirun. So Zahir is some fa'il. And so this is Ghusnin Zahirin. Okay, so the Ghusn is a branch, radiant. Bayna Aghsanihi. Aghsan is the jama of Ghusn, done that. Waqaftu. So Waqaftu means I stood. Okay, I stood. Okay, so I stood. Yeah, from the word waqafa. Waqafa. Okay, waqaftu. So what does he say? He says, فَإِذَا لَاحَتْ, so when it became apparent to me or clear to me, لِي زَهْرَةٌ, a flower, jamila, a beautiful flower, بَيْنَ أَزْهَارِهِ, between the flowers, تَتَأَلَّقُ, glistening, shining, radiant, فِي غُصْنٍ زَاهِرٍ, in a branch that was beautiful. So the flower is beautiful, and then that flower is perched on a branch which is beautiful. So he's kind of describing the flower as being like a beautiful object, like a bird. Bayna aghsanihi, between the branches. So this one flower kind of, it clearly shows amongst the branches. Waqaftu, I stood. Okay, so bayna, we done that. Yadayha. So when you say bayna yaday, all this sentence means in front. Okay, so بين يدي is an Arabic saying of literally means between its hands. Between its hands, meaning in front of. If you ever come across this in Arabic, بين يدي, it comes in the Quran as well. If you know what it is, put it in the comments below. So وقفة, وقفة. This is مفعول مطلق. Yeah, I stood. So when you say, for example, like وقفت, it means I stood. Okay, so if you say وقفت وقفة, it means you stood for a while. Yeah, you stood for a while. Okay, now this is not وقفت وقفة. This is actually وقفت. So let's get rid of that. This is actually وقفت وقفة المعجب. So معجب or معجب. معجب. Yeah, so وقفت وقفة المعجب. I stood a standing of a impressed person. So معجب is someone who's impressed by something. So therefore now the translation would be I stood وقفت وقفة المعجب, meaning like the standing of someone who's impressed at something. So someone who's impressed with something, I stood like that. Like someone who looks at a building or looks at something and gets so impressed and stands there admiring it for a while. So I stood in front of it like an impressed person stands biha. So biha is just the sila of mu'jab. You use it with mu'jab. A'jab, u'jiba bihi. Yeah. So in Arabic you would say, in fact in Arabic it's a bit strange. You say a'jabani az-zahra. The Zahra amazed me or impressed me. And if you want to use it in the majful form, you say u'jibtu biha. I was impressed by it. U'jibtu biha. Okay, so u'jibtu biha. So he says al-hani, it says from hana yahnu. Alright, so let's move a bit over here. Mess this up. Okay. Okay, so it says, okay, so hani is from the word hana yahnu, which means to bend over. So when you bend over to look at something, or you curve over to look at something, you say hana yahnu. Hana yahnu. Hunuun. Yeah, those are the letters. Hana yahnu. Okay, so let's have. So hani is someone who bends over to look at something. Al-mu'jibu, waqfat al-mu'jabi biha al-hani. Yeah, so that's the sifa of mu'jab. Someone who bends over, alayha, over it. Yeah, so that's over it. Al-mustahtiru bihusni takwiniha. Al-mustahtir is someone who is like someone who is fascinated with something. Yeah, you say istahtara. Infatuated is a good word. Infatuated. Infatuated. Okay, so infatuated. Mustahtiri. This is the sifa of mu'jab. Someone who is infatuated. Bihusni. Husn means beauty. Husni takween, composition. So composition, makeup, what it's made up of. Wa ishraqi, radiant. Ishraq means illuminating or radiant as well. So you put radiant or illuminating. Ishraq from the word sharaqa. Yeah, so sharaqa. The sun is also known as a shariq or shuruq. The shuruq or shams, the rising of the sun or the radiance of the sun. Ishraq. Yeah, ashraqat. Yeah, ashraqat. So mandhar is the appearance from the word nadhar. Mandhar. Yeah, so it's appearance, how it looks, how it appears. Again, so it's all about trying to figure out the root letters na, dha, ra. Okay, you got nadara, manzar. Okay, so ishraqi manzariha. So it's radiant appearance. Yeah, manzar. It's radiant appearance. So let's have a little translation of this. So it says, وقفت, I stood, بين يديها, in front of it, وقفة المعجب, like the standing of someone who is impressed by it, الحاني عليها, the one who is bending over it, المستهتر, the one who is infatuated with its beautiful composition, وإشراق منظرها, and its radiant appearance, من حيث لا أريد. Okay, then it says من حيث لا أريد. Let's move this up a bit. Let's try to move this up. So من حيث means in such a way. In such a way. In such a way. من حيث. In such a way. من حيث لا أريد اقتطافها. So لا أريد, I do not want. Rather, this word has come before. اقتطاف means to. It means to pick. Yeah, to pick, pluck, or pick. When you pick a fruit or you pick a flower. Yeah, from the word qutuf. If you know in the Quran where this word appears as well. Qutuf. Qatafa. To pick. اقتطافها. Oh, iz'aj. Iz'aj, za'aj. It means to annoy. Yeah, to disturb, to annoy. From the root letters za'aja. Yeah, you probably hear Arabs say this a lot as well. Iz'aj, az'ajani. Iz'aj has annoyed me. Opposite of a'jaba. Min makaniha, its place. Right, so this word has come before as well. Place. ثم أتركها, to leave. أترك ترك يترك, to leave. حيث, such. حيث, or where. حيث, here, where it is. قد علقت. علق, it means to become attached. Attached. You've probably seen this in the Quran as well. Yeah, علق. اقرأ باسم ربك الخلق. So the word علق. علقة, to become stuck to something, attached. When you say aliqa, it kind of gets attached. So nafsi, self, myself. Surah is image. Surah, image. Ila ukhra, another. غيرها, so ukhra, other than it. Other than it. So إلى أخرى غيرها. وهكذا حتى, like that. So like that. حتى, until. أخرج, I leave. من ذلك الروض. Road is when we talk about garden. Okay, garden. روضة من رياض الجنة. If you know the hadith, put it in the comments below. بنفس التطير. بنفس تطير. Nafs means self. But the nafs, the soul of a person. Tatiru, tara, yatiru. It means to fly away. And this is from the root letters tayara. And then surur. Surur means happiness. Okay, so happy. Sarra, yasurru. Sin, ara, ara. Okay, so surur. Stasilu, sala, yasilu. It comes from the word to flow or to pour, to even melt. Sa, ya, la, saylan. Yeah, pour, flow. If you know in the Quran where this word appears, yeah, put it in the comments. Wajdan, it means like emotional or love. Wajad. Wajada means to find, and wajad also means to have emotion. In fact, this word wajada alayhi, it has to come with ala afterwards to have this meaning. So you can't just say wajdan. Wajdan could mean painful. Wajada alayhi could mean angry with someone as well. So that's important to remember. So this is a strange kind of word. وجد عليه could also mean angry. Like if I'm angry with someone, say وجدت عليه, I was angry with him. So let's look at the translation. So he says من حيث such that لا أريد, I do not want اقتطافها, to pick it, pluck it, أو إزعاجها, or to disturb it من مكانها, from its place. ثم أتركها, and then I leave it, حيث, where it is here, وقد علقت بنفسي صورتها. So this is صورتها, okay, the file. So علقت, it, whilst attached, its image has become attached to my nafs, like its image has become etched into my mind. إلى أخرى, and then moving on to another besides it, so from one flower to another flower. وهكذا, and like that, حتى, until أخرج من ذلك الروض, right, from that road, from that garden, بنفس, with such a soul, such a nafs, تطير, which flies, سرورا, out of happiness به. So this is مفعول له. وتسيل, and it melts and flows, وجدا عليه, out of infatuated love for it, passion for it. It's basically all of this, if you notice, he's describing what he feels in all of this. That's what he's basically doing. He's describing what he feels in everything that's happening over here. Right, so he's kind of like trying to show the people, this is how when I read a book, this is how it is for me. It's basically like a person who goes through a garden and checking out all the different flowers, all the details. When I read a book, I do exactly the same. I check out all the details. I look at the sentences. I look at the words that have been used, and I'm stop for a little while and I think about that sentence. That's how I become proficient in my reading and then obviously writing. Okay, so let's look at some nice little sentences over here then. So for instance, like you got some لاحت لي زهرة جميلة. This is a nice sentence. لاحت لي زهرة جميلة. لاح لي ولد. A boy came apparent to me. لاح لي فكرة. Yeah, so you might want to use this ظهر instead of ظهر. Okay. تتألق في غصن زاهر. تتألق, it shines, it glistens in a غصن زاهر. Yeah, so for example, you might say الشمس تتألق في السماء, or النجم تتألق في الليل. Okay, بين يديها, وقفت بين يديها وقفة المعجب بها. This is a nice sentence as well. Look, I stood in front of it, وقفة المعجب بها. So you might want to use this as well to be able to like add details to your Arabic sentences. It's a nice sentence, that is. I stood in front of it, like let's say you see a very nice, I don't know, car, and you say وقفت بين يديها وقفة المعجب بها. Try to memorize these kind of sentences, because you can actually copy and paste these sentences into your writing, and it just makes it look a bit more like professional. الحاني عليها, these are good words. المستهتر بحسن تكوينها. Yeah, that's a nice one as well. Okay, what else? لا أريد اقتطافها أو إزعاجها. لا أريد اقتطافها أو إزعاج. اقتطاف, picking, إزعاج, to disturb. You might want to use this as well. For example, I say لا أريد اقتطاف الثمر من الشجر. علقت بنفسي صورتها. Its surah became stuck in my mind, in my nafs. Okay. تطير سرورا وتسيل وجدا عليه. You might want to say that as well. So, for example, you might say, I saw a beautiful lion. تطير سرورا بنفس تطير سرورا به وتسيل وجدا عليه. Okay, so let's try to translate this into a bit of Arabic as well. فإذا لاحت لي زهرة جميلة. عندما ظهرت لي وردة حسنة بين الورود تتألق, يعني تظهر أو تضيء في غصن, في فرع شجر, أو في فرع زاهر جميل بين أغصانه, بين الفروعه. وقفت بين يديها, قمت أمامها، قيام المستحسن بها، المتلوي عليها، المستهتر، المتعجب بحسن تكوينها، بجمال هندامها أو صورتها، وإشراق منظرها، وضياء ونور منظرها وصورتها، من حيث لا أريد اقتطافها، لا أبغي أن أخذها أو إزعاجها أو يعني أتعرض لها من مكانها، ثم أتركها، ثم أدعها حيث هي، وقد علقت بنفسي، وقد بقيت في نفسي صورتها، شكلها، إلى زهرة أخرى غيرها، وهكذا حتى أخرج، حتى أنتقل من ذلك الروض بنفس، من ذلك البستان بنفس، بقلب يطير سرورا، يعني يصر أو يعني يصبح مسرورا، وتسيل وجدا عليه، وتذوب محبة له. Okay, so that's basically that. Let's have a look now at trying to ask some questions here. Okay, so let's move this over here. All right, let's see what we can ask. So first of all, question. So remember, try to answer these questions if you can in the comments. Okay, ماذا لاح له؟ ماذا لاح له؟ لاحت له زهرة جميلة بين أزهاره. Okay, number 2. ما معنى تتألق؟ ما معنى تتألق؟ معنى تتألق تضيء. Okay, number 3. Let's have another go. كيف يمر صاحب الكتاب في الروض؟ It's a bit of a long one. How does the صاحب الكتاب pass by a garden? So now I want to mention some sentences here. And finally, لماذا يشبه القراءة بهذه التعبيرات الرائعة? Why does he resemble recitation with these beautiful expressions? Okay guys, Jazakumullah khair. Thank you very much for watching this video. Have a go at answering the questions. Let me know in the comments any sort of improvements I can make. And also thank you to all my patrons for supporting my channel. May Allah bless all of you guys. It means a lot to me. If anyone wants to become patron, support my channel, please consider it. It helps me a lot. And I will see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.